Hi, I'm Joachim West. This is my show, Critical Mass. And I've actually been thinking about this a little bit, where the show comes from. And I think I can trace it back to when I was a kid. And as a Jew, I was very impressed by looking at these photographs of piles of naked Jews, victims of the Holocaust, and thinking to myself, this is my extended family, and seeing myself there in the piles of bodies. And I've been drawing piles of bodies since then, but I had a friend, and I remember my friend, a close friend, placing pennies on the train track and watching as the train would roll over the pennies. And I didn't really connect that was him in his mind, but eventually he sat in front of a train and committed suicide. And it inspired me to start making these drawings about, they were sort of looking at violence and trying to understand why he would do something that was so violent and hurt so many people and himself, when he just wasn't the kind of person, from my understanding of him, he wasn't the kind of person who would do something like that. So I started to think about people in general and the violent things that everybody does, whether they're big things or not as terrible things. And I've been making those drawings for a long time. And as I was, I continuously work and think of different images and ideas. And I was thinking about how there's a lot of social climbing that happens in the art world, as I'm sure happens in every industry. And I sort of, turned it into a visual thing in my mind, because of course I'm a very visual person. And I sort of picture people climbing on top of each other, trying to get higher up on the social ladder. And that sort of turned into, thinking about how we sort of also stand on each other's shoulders. It's how society progresses. And I started thinking about how people congregate together, and we accomplish great things sometimes by being together, but sometimes by creating these masses of people, we also cause all these terrible problems like, environmental issues and, issues with, obviously, disease, is spread more rapidly when people are more closely connected like that. So it just turned into images, drawing people on top of people on top of people on top of people. And maybe some of it also goes back to when I was a kid in New York City, just being surrounded by these crowds of people going to work, and just sort of feeling so tiny, when I was so encompassed by engulfed in humanity, just sort of insignificant. And it's a lot about my feelings about people in general, I think, and that's what it's about for me. But you can think of it how you want to. Thank you for everything.
That was Joachim West talking about his latest exhibit, Critical Mass, now on view at the Galveston Art Center until May 29th, 2022. Galveston Art Center is located at 2127 Strand, open Wednesday to Sunday from 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. You can find out more information about this exhibit and the Galveston Art Center at www.galvestonartscenter.org.